All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody here this morning. TGR Faith. There we are. Okay. So, in this conversation, we're talking about faith. How do we become magnetic? Do you know how to multiply your thoughts? The ether is a great cosmic mass of external forces of vibration. It is made up of both destructive vibrations and constructive vibrations. It carries at all times vibrations of fear. We talked about this. This is where we kind of ended last week. We, uh, yeah, last week. It carries it carries fear, poverty, disease, failure, misery, and vibrations of prosperity, health, success, and happiness, just as surely as it carries the sound of hundreds of orchestrations of music and hundreds of human voices, all of which maintain their own individuality and means of identification through the medium of radio. So just like if you're at a conference and it's break time and there's 1,000 people in the room and there's 500 conversations going on, all of those voices maintain their own identity. Does that make sense? They maintain their own identity and their own frequency and their own vibration. So that means that the ether is only a method of transportation and everything is available. So right now in this moment, what you want is available because it's already existing in the ether, in the thinking stuff, right? In the infinite intelligence. From the great storehouse of the ether, the human mind is constantly attracting vibrations. From the great storehouse of the ether, the human mind is constantly attracting vibrations which harmonize with that which dominates the human mind. What you think about and think about, you bring about. And let's be fair to say, a lot of times people say, well, I don't want that. When you think about it, it's literally the universe getting a clue. Well, if you're thinking about it, you must want it. You must be thankful for what comes to you. Does that make sense? For a lot of people, it won't. Let me see if I can explain it better. My guess is, my interpretation is that the universe says, whatever you're thinking about, you have to want. And if you talk about it again, which dominates the human mind, you must be thankful for it already, because that's all you think about. That's all you keep talking about is the thing that's in your mind. Now, consciously, we may say, I really don't want that. The universe doesn't hear that. Doesn't hear the negative. I don't want that. The universe only understands it as I want that. Any thought, idea, plan, or purpose which one holds in one's mind, which one holds in one's mind, attracts the vibration of the ether. A host of its relatives adds these relatives into its own force and grows until it becomes the dominating, motivating master of the individual in whose mind it has been housed. There's a lot there. Let's unpack that. From the great storehouse of the ether, the human mind is constantly attracting vibrations which harmonize with that which dominates the human mind. So, positive, negative, it's simply a vibration. There's a phrase that says, how does it go? Good or bad, there's no difference. Thinking makes it so. Maybe you don't want it to rain. Maybe it's your wedding day and you don't want it to rain. I'm a farmer who hasn't had rain in 3 weeks. And if I don't get rain in the next day or two, all of my crops are going to die. So it rains and I say, oh, thank God. And it rains for you. And you're like, why does God hate me? Thinking makes it so. The way we interpret it in the moment makes it so. That's how we get our definition of whatever's going on. It's we decide what it is, right? We determine whether it's good or bad. It's neither good nor bad. Any thought, idea, plan, or purpose, which one holds, that's italicized, which one holds in one's mind attracts from the vibrations of the ether a host of its relatives, meaning because we don't have the ability to dial into the exact vibration of the goal we have or the goal we want, we attract all of its relatives. We attract everything in and around it. Much like when you throw the bean bags at the dunking chair, where the person's sitting on the little board over the water, and if you hit the bullseye directly, it drops them in. We don't always hit that bullseye after bullseye after bullseye, so we hit all around it. We're getting close. We're tuning in. We're getting our frequency dialed in. So I love the way that he says, attract the vibrations of the ether. A host of its relatives adds these relatives to its own force and grows until it becomes the dominating, motivating master of the individual whose mind it has been housed. That's desire. What is the motivating master in your mind? What did you wake up with? See, here's why intentions are so important. What did you want from today? What did you want from the first hour of your awakeness? What did you want from your second hour of awakeness? What did you want from your third hour, your fourth hour? What do you want to feel like when you put your head on the pillow? This pillow, this becomes your motivating master for the day. You add a couple of days together, you get a motivating master for the week. You got a couple of weeks together, you get a motivating master for the month. You add a couple of months together, and you wind up with a dominating force for your year. If you keep cycling back, it's great to recycle. The challenge with recycling is you're using the same thing over and over and over until you find the frequency that kicks in and sets you right and sets you off on your run. You're recycling your old thoughts, your old wants and wishes. If the ether carries all, when I turn the book sideways, that's usually me reading the side note. If the ether carries all vibration at the same moment, then it's clear we easily attract what we think about. Now, let us go back to the starting point and become informed on how the original seed of an idea, plan, or purpose may be planted in the mind. The information is easily conveyed. Any idea, plan, or purpose that may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought, aka autosuggestion. This is why you are asked to write out a statement of your major purpose or definite chief aim, commit it to memory, and repeat it in audible words day after day until these vibrations of sound may reach your subconscious mind. There's people I talk to. Well, I wrote it out. Yes. And you said, don't think about it anymore. No. It's not important to think about it if it's become a dominating force in your life. Much like, hey, listen, some of you have, what do they call it? Two-step verification. When you go into different programs that you have, you log in and it says, an email was just sent to your phone or a code was just sent to your phone. It's called something two-step verification. And sometimes that 6-digit number, you can remember that. Your brain is now wired to remember that 6-digit number. Only temporary. Only temporarily can it remember that 6-digit number, but it's not hard to remember 873-976, 873-976, 873-97. And then you go to your keyboard, 873-976. Boom, you're in. And then it goes away. Why does it go away? Why does it go away? Because you don't need it anymore. Because you know the next number is going to be something different. That's not the same number. See, we are getting wired to be able to remember something in great detail for moments. And you write out, you spend time, you write out your definite major purpose, you write out your desires, your wants, your wishes, and guess what happens? You don't remember it. You kind of remember it. You sort of remember it. You remember that you got something that you sort of kind of remember that you got to remember, but you don't remember it. And you struggle. And you struggle, and you struggle, and you struggle because it's never been committed to memory. The key behind set it and forget it, write it and forget it, is the amount of intention, the amount of energy, the amount of frequency you have around it when you write it. If you write it and it just absolutely fires you up, I mean, you know that you know that you know it's going to happen, you're probably okay. If you're writing it and still looking back at the old copy to try to get it, okay, and then what did I say? And then, okay, and you keep writing, and then what did I say? It's not wired in yet. It's still barely a suggestion to your subconscious mind. We have to do through auto suggestion, through repetition and repetition and repetition. Think about how many times it took you to learn how to walk. Pay attention to this. How much walking did you do before the first time you walked? Well, what? Yeah. How much walking did you do prior to the first time you walked? Well, none. If it was the first time I walked, exactly. You stumbled, you tried, your body was used to crawling. You would sometimes stand up. How many of us have ever seen a baby stand up? It looks like they're going to walk and they fall right down and crawl because that's the thing you remember. That's your default mode network. Now, let me ask another question. Come to this present moment. How many times have you tried to set a goal? How many times have you set a goal? AKA walked. How many times have you set a goal? Hundreds of times, if not thousands of times. How many times have you achieved it? Well, I've hit some of my goals. I know. What do you think the ratio is? What's your success rate? You know, in baseball, you can make millions of dollars if you hit 3 out of 10. I don't know that there's a 400. Maybe somebody's had a 400, right? 4 out of 10. Would yours be 1 out of 10? 2 out of 10? 1 out of 10 is pretty darn good in the success role. You got 10 ideas and you nail one and you hit a home run. Most people aren't even close to that. Why do I say that? This is why auto-suggestion is so absolutely critical. And by the way, you are already auto-suggesting right now. You are already auto-suggesting right now. And this is why when sometimes people have bad things happen to them, they keep happening because your reticular activating system, your RAS, reticular activating system, you tell your brain what to look for. The brain doesn't know whether it's good or bad. It knows, ooh, you want to look for this. That's why some people who have relationships that don't necessarily seem like on the outside that they're good relationships, your friends will say, well, my God, they're just like the last one. They didn't want to have somebody who partied all night and came home late, or fill in the blank. So my point is that we have all of this wired into us. The brain does two things. Will this kill me, or how fast can I recognize the pattern? And we are pattern junkies for sure. And then you come along and you get this idea, this wild hair. Somebody tells you, you can have whatever you want. If the mind can conceive it and believe it and achieve it, and you start hanging around with achievers and people who set goals and people who talk differently, and you're like, man, this is freaking cool. And then nothing happens. And then you hang out with that group of goal setters and goal achievers who never achieve, but boy, they love being in the fight. And you start hanging around them instead of stepping out of that group and going to what it takes to have a goal achieving conversation. Here's the fun thing. When this hits, when this clicks, when this sinks in, when you go, you realize just how simple it is. Not necessarily easy, definitely simple. Saying a new thing over and over and over, writing out goals is not difficult. You learned how to write in kindergarten, maybe first grade. You know how to write. You know how to memorize things. Oh, well, my memory's not that good. Yet you know how to memorize things. There's things that you have in your memory because they were important to you. You may not have the best skills. And if you want to learn memory, I'm a certified memory trainer. I can teach you memory. It's not that hard. There's patterns to everything. Committed to memory, repeated and audible words day after day until the vibrations of sound have reached your subconscious mind. We are what we are because of the vibrations of thought that we pick up and register through the stimuli of our daily environment. We are what we are because of our vibrations. Resolve to throw off the influences of any unfortunate environment and to build your own life to order. How many of you would like to truly build your life, your own life, to your order that you put in place? Taking inventory of mental assets and liabilities, you will discover that your greatest weakness is lack of self-confidence. This handicap can be surmounted and timidly translated into courage through the aid and the principle of auto-suggestion. The application of this principle may be made through a simple arrangement of positive thought impulses stated in writing, memorized and repeated until they become part of your working environment, a part of your working equipment of the subconscious facility of your mind, the subconscious faculty of your mind. Here's the self-confidence formula. How many of you would like the self-confidence formula? We'll go through that and then we'll wrap up for today. So we're ending. We may go a little farther than that, but self-confidence formula number 1. I know that I have the ability to achieve the objective. I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my desire in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. What do I write? That's what you write. That's what you write every day, and you repeat that out till you have it memorized. It's not giving you the strategy. It's not, well, how do I do that? Very well. Why do you ask? It's not giving you the how, it's giving you the why. So then you write out the second one. I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my efforts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. There's number two. So far, that's universal. Whether you want to be a doctor or a dentist or a ditch digger, those two things needed no customization. It's simply a way to access and clue in the vibrations to your subconscious mind what you want to think about, what you want to vibrate about. Number three, I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. This is the self-confidence formula. So there you have one. First thing to do, second thing to do, third thing to do. Hey, what about the fourth thing to do? Well, let's check it out. I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I have developed sufficient self-confidence in the attainment, for its attainment. Would it be fair to say that the universe keeps checking in on you every day? And when you wake up in the morning, it says, I wonder if they have the self-confidence ready to go today. And you don't wake up with any intention. You wake up with remembering who you were faster today than you did yesterday. As soon as you wake up from that unconsciousness, you're waking up in bed, you're waking up on the couch, wherever it was you slept in the chair last night, wherever it was that you were waking up from, whatever physical place, first thing you do is recognize, am I in my bed? Right? If you've ever woken up traveling, you realized you weren't in your bed. As soon as you woke up, you're like, oh, wait a minute, where's the alarm clock? Why isn't the alarm clock there? I used to travel so much to consistent locations, I could tell you what hotel I was in based upon where the clock was. Some hotels had it on top of the TV. Some hotels had it right next to you, the little red lights, right? The little red light clock, the digital clock. Some had it wasn't on the side that I slept on, so it was on the guest side of the bed, on Michelle's side of the bed. I could tell you what hotel I was in. At least give me an idea of what hotel. And then if I knew what hotel I was in, there was a good chance I could tell you what state I was in or what country I was in. So fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure. Here's the key. This is how you undo temporary success, temporary wealth. I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. Period. End of story. Now, there's more to it. I'm going to read that in just a second. Jim Rohn would say, never do a good deal with a bad person. Some of you are doing deals with a bad version of yourself and wondering why you're stuck. If you lose in the transaction, that's not a win-win-win. You know, people say, well, it needs to be a win-win. No, that's still a lacking formula. It needs to be a win-win-win. You win, I win. The environment, society wins, community wins. It needs to be good for all people, not just the ones who are doing the deal. I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. Well, why don't people sign up with me? Why don't people join my business? Why don't this happen? Because there is no service going out from you to them. Well, if they get involved, they'll get the service. That's not how it works, Skippy. If they use my product, they'll get the benefit. That's not how it works. People have been burned so many times, they don't believe things can be as good as you think they are. You have to be in service to them first. It's what we call a tripwire in marketing. It's what we call a lead magnet in marketing. You're leading them, and it's so magnetic. They say, I got to give you my email address. You got to take my money so that I can get that benefit. You have to serve them first before they can serve you, not the other way around. And there is no way around that. You have to serve and then be served. I will eliminate hatred. This is important. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, cynicism. By developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards us, well, they're just an idiot. I don't know why they don't get it. They get upset. Man, they got mad. They can only get mad for two reasons. One, you see it as them being mad. Two, you trigger their madness in them. Probably not the best way to go through life. If you want to get people happy, trigger the happiness in them. Well, but that means I got to be everything to everyone. No, you just have to raise your standards for what it is you hang around and do. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude toward others can never bring me success. And I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula. So I would write this out and sign your name to this formula. This is a formula for self-confidence. I will sign my name to this formula with full faith, and that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I will become a self-reliant, successful person. Back of this formula is the law of nature, which no man has yet been able to explain. It has baffled the scientists of all ages. The psychologists have named this law autosuggestion, and let it go at that. So we will leave that right there. You know, this whole thing on how many of you believe, or how many of you are aware of quantum physics and string theory and all of this quantum entanglement? Well, we have come up with such an awareness of the quantum field, right? Smaller than a particle, a nano. There's something now. The smallest particle used to be it'll come to me in a second. A quark. A quark was used to be the smallest thing. And what we found out is that a quark could be in two places at once. A quark could be in two places at once, this particular piece of energy. And until the observer looked into the microscope, once the observer looked in, it consolidated because of their vibration. But the quarks existed. The same piece of energy existed in two places, which is the multiplicity effect, that everything behind you exists complete opportunity, complete possibility. Absolute everythingness exists behind you. Everything exists outside of your field of vision. Everything exists, yes? It doesn't come to shape until you look at it and give it shape. So autosuggestion gives you a chance to activate your field of awareness in the universe, in the universal intelligence, in the thinking stuff. There is a thinking substance from which all things are made, which permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. Right? How many of you know that this cup is there's more space in this cup than there is solid? Right? You know that. If you were to take an atom that's got an electron, a proton, a crouton, and a neutron, right? Whatever's inside of the atom, the parts that are inside of the atom, the nucleus, the electrons that circle around it. If you were to take up the entire space that an electron takes, that an atom takes up, it is 98% nothingness and 2% stuff. Who is that? Good morning, Molly. And 2% stuff. Do you know why most people struggle? Is they are wildly focused on the 2% of stuff. How? How is stuff? Why is 98%? And when you've had some great things happen in your life, it's because you were 100% focused on the 98% of stuff, and it happened so effortlessly, so easily. You couldn't explain it. You're like, you won't believe what happened. All right, try me. Try me. Like, I won't believe it. I'll absolutely believe it because all things are possible. How can I not believe it? When people tell me that, what they're setting up themselves is so their auto suggestion could say, don't believe this, don't believe this, don't believe this, don't believe this. This will never happen again. Don't believe this. I don't know. I got lucky. No, you finally let go of the 2% that doesn't really give you all the success you want. And you stepped into a wild variety of 98% success, and things effortlessly came to you. Oh, and by the way, they will effortlessly come to you regardless of the nature you think they are, meaning positive or negative. That's why people who are of a negative mindset seem to keep getting rained on, keep having the same kind of Groundhog Day of repetitive of BS that happens in their life. So questions, comments, thoughts, raise your hand. What's going on? What did you hear? What'd you like? What was your aha from today's conversation? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Had some dinner with friends last night over on the other side of the lake. They had a dear friend up who's a master pit barbecue chef, and we had some of his smoked ribs. Oh my goodness. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. Hey, good morning, Silka.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Outstanding.
So now you made me hungry with the ribs because
Good.
it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Kind of strange time to have ribs, but I would eat them anytime.
There you go.
So again, what you share, no matter, to me, it seems like no matter what you're sharing, you're telling us that we are the ones controlling our life. Basically, our brain is controlling our lives. Correct?
So I'm going to add a little bit more context to that content. 100% your brain is controlling your life. The challenge is that most people think they don't have control over their brain. They have control over their thoughts. Yet, if you were raised in a negative household, right? The self-talk training that I do, by the time you're 18, if you lived in a reasonably positive household, you heard negative input at about 118,000 times. So yes, our brain does control it. We have to add to that, and I have control over my brain. And when that becomes a understanding reality that you can control your thoughts, well, you have free will. Yes, you do. Then use it. So how do I change my thoughts? How do I avoid getting into my default mode network? Your brain controls your life. 100% true. The challenge is that when does our brain take over and our thinking stops? Anytime we are put in a situation that makes us uncomfortable. Some people will wake up in the morning, look at their phone, and become uncomfortable. You are no longer in control of your future. And that is the part that I want to emphasize, put emphasis on, is that if you lose control of your good energy because of something you read, something you saw, something somebody said, a post somewhere, you have lost control of your day, lost control of your moment, and you begin your spiral. You will either spiral down from where you are or spiral up. And that does happen by the radio receiver and the radio antenna, the radio distribution of your brain. So 100% what you said is true. Absolutely. Our brain controls our lives. 100%. We keep adding software. Right now, what I'm doing is adding software to you. I'm giving you an upgraded version of Think and Grow Rich version 50.0. Maybe it's the 57th time I've read it. So I'm giving you my Think and Grow Rich version 57.0.125. You might be on version 2, version 15 of reading the book. So I have this upgraded software that you're like, oh, I really like the way you look at that. Upgraded software can't work unless the hardware will permit it. For you to, if you write down this, I will guarantee you this, that if you take the self-confidence formula, and when I say you, I'm talking editorially, all of you listening to this recording, those of you that listen to it, if you go on in my book, page 86 and 87, and you write down this 5 steps to self-confidence and sign that and repeat that, so that becomes permanent in your mind, you will not recognize your life in 30 days. I promise you. I promise you. I've seen it. I've done it. I've witnessed people do it for 30 years, 3 decades. I've watched people take this. And simply by writing, well, I don't have my definite major purpose yet. Well, because you don't have self-confidence yet. Oh no, I'm pretty self-confident. The only reason that your life is not in the control you want it to be, it's because of your self-confidence. 100%. There is no other, that's it. You can have faith, you can have desire. If you don't have self-confidence, you will struggle. And you don't have to. You can get off the struggle bus. You can pull the cord. Let me off the struggle bus. I'm getting off now. And once you get off, the challenge is like, oh my gosh, I have to come up with some new struggles. Okay. So yes, your brain does control your life. 100%.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions? Take away. When do you leave, Silke? Is it tomorrow or Wednesday?
It's when I'm on my phone, always takes me a second to
It's fine.
unmute because it keeps going away. I'm leaving Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Are
Okay.
you gonna miss me?
Absolutely. I miss you already.
Oh yes. Well, I don't know if I can get on from
That's fine.
there
I get it.
because I think I'm actually, I don't even know. I think they're 2 hours ahead. They must be in the same time zone as you, but
Right.
we have activities
Oh,
planned and things
absolutely.
like that.
And the other part is that, of course, the recording will be there, but
Yes.
sometimes it's easier to just pop in when you're international like that to YouTube because of their algorithms are different. But Zoom is now everywhere, every place. So yeah, if you do, great. If listen, if you do pop in and you have something exciting that you saw, you learned, you heard, or whatever, while I'm talking, pop in, raise your hand, because I know you honor and respect the conversation, and you know that the Q&A is after. But if you come in with something that you're just so excited and you got 2 minutes to do it, raise your hand. And I'll go, okay, Silke, what you got? I'll be happy to let you share some exciting, because we all love to hear exciting news. Fair enough?
Yes. Oh, you're so amazing. Thank you. And I will also, for everyone that is on Facebook or Instagram, I will post things. So, and I will go live more
I love
because
it.
I think it's going to be an amazing environment and just an amazing things to see. And I want to share them. So I'm really excited about that.
So I was just given a download that said, use your touch. And what I mean by that, or what I interpret when the ether just said, reminder to use her touch. You have an incredible sensitivity through animals, through the big horse, right? Through all of these things, through
Through the little lambs.
right? And so when you have this touch, when you touch something there in Machu Picchu on your way, or even bumping into people, but allow your touch to give you insight that your environment may not have you tuned into. So as you're walking up the steps in Machu Picchu, as you're doing different things, imagine, ask the question, what was their purpose? What was the purpose of this step? What was the story of this step? Who sat on this step and was heard joyous news? Who sat on this step and heard a story that changed their life? I don't know. This is what I'm just getting this download. So when you get there, that'll make more sense. Use your touch. Be aware of that. All of the energy that's ever happened in that particular square inch or square meter or wherever it is in Machu Picchu or in any place in the world still exists in that place.
That's
Because
very interesting.
the stones all have memory of what's happened over the last hundreds, 500,000 years, however long Machu Picchu's been there.
Wow. I
So
will
just,
definitely try that because
yeah,
I use my eyes to see the beauty. So I never thought of doing that. Thank you for pointing that out to me.
you're welcome. And one of the things when I get those inklings, I will ask for all, because I have a filter. I can put my request into the thinking stuff for what I want. Everything exists. I choose to focus on what I believe serves me and my family. So the reason I'm saying that is that there's been some great experiences at Machu Picchu and there's been some not so good experiences.
Have you been there?
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't. Okay.
My point is that people lived and were born and people died and were murdered and right from old whatever sacrifices and blah blah blah. I choose when I go to places that have extremes of energy in them to let the universe know that all of that's available to me. I'm choosing to pick the ones that will inspire me, that I can bring back and inspire others about the beauty of this location. So whether that's a monastery in Rome, Italy, or Puerto Rico, the sugar mines of sugar mills of Puerto Rico, all of those different things. So
That's wow. That's really powerful.
again, intention,
Yes.
and you have that.
And it's funny what you're saying that this has nothing to do with this, but you will find what you're saying, you're putting it out in the universe. And this is a very, very interesting little story. So I was teaching this little boy German to pass his interview at the German school, right? So when he has no brothers or sisters. And so when he was interviewed, and they always ask, about their families. So do you have brothers? Do you have sisters? Da da da. And so he told the interviewer, he told the lady that he had a brother. And and of course everybody's like, wow, I can't believe he said that, because we were working with him to say that he's an only child, which he is,
Right.
right? And so then I just found out that his mom is pregnant now, and he's actually going to have a little baby brother or sister. They don't know. They don't want to
Right.
know. They want to wait. But yes, how crazy is that? So when his grandmother told me that, because she usually is there and works with him, and I'm like, oh my God, that is so crazy. And they said and then yesterday they came to my event, um, for my my German, my Treffen.
Right.
And so the dad was telling the story, and he said, Lincoln walked up to his mom one night when they came home, and he put his head on her belly, and he said, I know there's a baby in there. And they had just found out, they had not even shared it with him.
So my grandmother would say on my father's side, and I don't know on my mother's side as much, but on my father's side, she was of the belief that children pick us. Our kids pick their parents. So that kid, that little energy that's inside that mom, I would have no doubt came to Lincoln and said, "Hey, listen, what's this place like? Should I pick this place?" And Lincoln probably said, "Oh, this is going to be a fun place. I would love to have you. And I would be excited to have you as a big brother. I'm your big brother, whether you're a little girl or a little boy." And so the little energy said, "Okay, I picked them."
Wow, that's yeah, I mean that's just so I I would before I met you, I would have never and this is very true. Before I would have never even thought of this. But it was like, oh my God, he put it out there in the universe. And when I was talking to his grandma, she says, "Oh my God, if it was really a little boy that it's gonna," I mean, because he said, "I have a brother," and we're like, "Why did you say that?" I mean, how crazy is that? And then he knew his mom was pregnant before they told him. And this child does, teaching him, I have noticed that he thinks differently than most people, and especially most children. So when we did the colors, for instance, and this is very interesting. So I would be in his living room and I would say, "I'm seeing something pink," and I tell him this in German, of course.
Right.
I'm not telling you this in German because the only other person on here that speaks German is AJ. So nobody else would benefit but him. But anyway, and that would be great as well. But so, I see something pink, do you? Or I see some red, and there'd be like big, big, red things that his grandma and I be looking at. And he goes and he picks the tiniest little piece of color and he says, "Right here." What you are going, yes. What what do you make out of that? I mean, he's like incredibly detailed and looking at small things when the rest of us, or at least I am, and looking at the big picture. Like, oh, this is big. I would have never even looked at this tiny little piece. And he didn't do that just once. He's did that many times.
So a couple of things. One, there's a level of recognition that he sees more to the thing than there is, right? Most of us, okay, do you see anything red in the picture? Yeah, well, that thing.
Yeah.
It's easy to see the thing that's easy to see. He's looking for the thing that's not easy to see that needs recognition, that he thinks is being skipped over, that he thinks is never gets seen. So there's some self-confidence issues there that he finds, that he believes that in locating the tiniest little thing, which he sometimes sees as himself, right? Because the frequency that we are vibrating in allows us to interpret the world in that way. We would never see that because we go for the easy thing. Well, there's a big red sign right there, big stop sign in the living room. I know there's not, but to give people the equivalent.
Yes, yes.
Oh, but there's the tip of a red lead pencil.
Yeah, and he's only when I started teaching he was four. He was four, so he just turned 4 or 5 when he was doing that. He's very, very young.
So the key is that he's looking for the things that get skipped over, and the only reason that he is looking for things that others can't see is because others can't see things in him, and that's his way of getting of recognizing the unseen and say, "Well, here, this little thing." You're like, "Oh my God, how did you even see that?"
Yeah, that's exactly what we said to him.
Right. And so that's because there's a part of him that nobody's seeing.
You think he realizes that even at that age?
It's not that he has to realize it, that's what's being spoken. It's kind of much like if if I met a 5-year-old Chinese child and they're speaking Chinese, I'm like, "How did you learn that? I don't know that. I'm 60 years old. How come?" I wasn't taught that. So he was taught
Right.
how to go find the smallest, tiniest little thing to get recognition. Do they have a pet?
Yes, they do. They have a very large dog. Yes. Why are you asking about that?
Well, because I bet he has some interesting conversations with the dog that most people are like, "You and the dog just have an amazing relationship."
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I've never seen him do that, but
Right.
he might when he's by himself
Yeah.
because, you know, it's, yeah. But
Very cool.
he does like dogs because he wanted to play with Lola Beans,
Yep.
but Lola Beans doesn't like new people, so she has some issues too. Maybe you can get in the dog's brain one of these days.
Well,
Maybe.
here's what I would say. Lola Bean loves you. She'll pick up on your vibration. So every time you say she has problems with new people, she wants to serve you and she'll have problems with new people. I promise you, if you start to shift that, she used to have problems with people and now she's getting to where she likes more and more people on their first visit. She can tell good people. And you'll be surprised at how fast that she used to not like anybody. Now she likes the people we like. It happens that fast.
Oh, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, because if you say, listen, this is about auto suggestion. The self-confidence of Lola Bean is, well, oh, let me put her up. She's not going to like you. She's going to bark. And before the person gets in, she starts barking. It's like, see, I told you. That's literally law of attraction.
Oh wow, even with dogs.
Anything that has a vibration. How about how about if you go to a restaurant, you always see something green, right? Your reticular activating system. You go to a busy parking lot and you always get the spot up front. Law of attraction, reticular activating system. What you think about and think about, you bring about. So you're happy that your story doesn't change, that Lola Bean doesn't like new people. And so therefore, if she ever liked new people, you go, that's weird. That's odd.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah,
uh,
probably.
imagine
Um,
if 10 people joined your business on Machu Picchu trip, you'd be like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what happened. It's not impossible. It might not be probable, but it's definitely 100% possible that 10 people on your conversations, you just having fun going to Machu Picchu, say, I want to do what you do. Not impossible. Probable, maybe not so much. Maybe because you're going with this intent of joy and happiness. And I think this is your first venture into Machu Picchu. Yes.
yes.
Total excitement. So you're totally aware your brain is going to be totally focused on survival. I've never been to the airport at this place. I've never gotten on this flight. I've never, right, blah, blah, blah. All of these newness, novelty, all of this novelty keeps you in a state of awareness that if it's someplace you've been 1,000 times, you really don't know. You're really not paying attention. But you will see so much more on this new trip to Machu Picchu than you will the next trip. Now, you may not remember as much than you will on your next trip to Machu Picchu if you go back, when you go back, because now you have an awareness. Ooh, I remember this. When I go to Slovenia, when I go to Ljubljana, Slovenia, I land at the airport. Usually it's going to be somebody I've known for decades, picks me up. The first place I want to go to is to the Hot Horse hamburger place. And I want to have a hamburger, a Hot Horse hamburger.
A hot horse hamburger.
Yep.
What kind of hamburger is that?
Exactly what it sounds like. It's out of horse.
Oh, oh.
I knew you wouldn't be so happy with that, but it's,
And no, that's why I asked.
yep,
Because yes, I know
we
in
eat
some
things differently
countries,
over there.
yes, they eat horse meat. I know there's some other countries there too, and it's supposed to be sweet
It's
because
there. It's the best hamburger in all of Ljubljana. I'll say that. I don't know
uh,
if it's the best hamburger I've had any
I
place I've
would,
been.
just because knowing that I would not eat it. There's
Right.
just no way I wouldn't eat it. But
Well, I had polo ponies and horses growing up, so I was like, "Oh, really?" And they said, "We got to try it." Now, I take that back. I ate it, didn't know it, because I probably wouldn't have eaten it had I known first. But I went, "Oh
okay.
my God, this is good. This is
Uh,
like amazing." And so therefore, I went, "Okay."
well,
Uh,
and they see horses as livestock, where especially in California we do not. We see them as pets, and
right. And like
we
other
put
countries where
blankets
they,
on them, and some people even put color on their hoofs and as nail polish, and we
well, and there's some
braid.
countries that, dogs and birds different ways. So yeah.
Yeah, and we braid their hair and everything. So,
I love it,
but
love it, love it.
that's thank you, thank you,
Thank you,
thank
thank you,
you.
thank you. So pay attention to your touch. Use your incredible sensation. You know, in some movies where they touch something and the mind flashes and it gives all of the history of that thing. You're like, oh, ooh, oh my gosh, there's some amazing things happen here. Just be aware of your touch. You're going to have some tactile interactions with the environment that are going to give you some amazing breakthroughs.
Maybe there'll be some baby alpaca.
I have no doubt. I love it.
It always brings me joy when I look at the photos from your ranch when I was holding the babies, when I was playing with the babies. I can go back there and it really lights up my day, just the babies.
Yes.
Sorry, I mean,
No, it's and the reason that it does is because there's such an innocence in smallness. That's why when people see puppies like Lula Bean, they're like, "Oh, they're so cute." Well, it's like 18 years old. You're kidding. Because we always associate age with time. That's why
yes,
people look at our sheep
yes.
and they're like, "Oh, are they babies?" No, that one's like 4 years old. Oh, they're so tiny. They're so cute. You can put them in your pocket. Yes, we know that.
The sheep are not that tiny.
No, well, for
Maybe
some
the
people,
babies.
yes. I love it,
All
love it,
right.
love it. Thank you, thank you, thank
Love
you.
it. Thank you, and I love you.
Love you too. Enjoy your preparation for your packing to get ready for Wednesday.
Yes, well, I'm far ahead this time because
Good
I
for
already
you.
did all my laundry because I had to clean everything for my event. So this is very unusual. I usually do my laundry a few hours before I leave. But I do have to drive to LA, so I'm actually flying out of LA.
Okay.
LAX. Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it.
Love you.
Love you too. Who else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways from Faith in writing out your self-confidence formula. I can promise you this. If you said, I have self-confidence, you might be struggling. If you have to confirm it, you probably don't have it. It's a knowing. There's not even you
Hey,
don't even have to sell it. Hey,
I asked a question in the chat, but I'll just ask it here.
okay.
It was just
Oh,
confirming,
wow.
I guess repeating what you said in the call about deepening our faith in self-confidence. That just comes from the repetition of a new story.
Well, so here's the thing. There's Molly. Come here, Molly. Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Look how big Molly's getting. Repetition doesn't necessarily make it so. I have some people who write out their daily gratitudes, and it's been 2 years, and they are on such a slow redwood path to growth, yet they wouldn't even be on the path if they weren't writing out the blessings. So my point is that simply doing repetition, it goes back to Wallace D. Wattles. We were having this conversation with some folks last night. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. So yes, doing them over and over and over is great. Doing them with the intention and looking for the frequency and the vibration when you do that is the key. Because if you do it over and over, if you're checking a box on strategy, well, I did my blessings, I did my posts, and nothing's changing, it's because you're doing strategy. But I have my intention, I have my definite major purpose, I write it out every day. What's the energy behind it? Show me your body. Give me the state of your body when you write out your, what are you talking about? You could write it till the cows come home. It'll never happen. So it's about the frequency and the energy and the intensity. Do you ever write a letter to somebody or type in an email because you were so mad you were like breaking the keys, and you were so in such a state of vibration that somebody says, "What's the matter with you? Your nose is flaring," right? They could tell you were mad as hell. You're still sitting in the same chair that you could be happy as heaven. Why don't anybody ever say that? Man, what makes you happy as heaven? No, we have a phrase, "Your boy, you are." I was mad as hell. I've never heard anybody say I was happy as heaven. And it has to exist. If you're mad as hell, that's over here, and happy as heaven, that's over here. Why didn't anybody ever say, I promise you, if you say today, I am happy as heaven, you just watch your body go, oh, wait a minute, we have to do some new chemicals in the body. So repetition is important. The reason most people replicate, I know that's not a word. They repeat, and no solution, no success, no nothing, is because of the intention behind it.
The intention behind it?
The intention behind when you're writing.
Okay.
You woke up this morning on a scale of 1 to 1,000, 1,000 being the best day you've ever had. What number are you at right now today? Right now in this moment, what number? 1,000 is the best day you've ever had. And I'd ask you all of this. 1,000, the best memory you've ever had, whether you can remember it or not, the best of the best of the best. What number are you at today?
I would say like a 999.
Okay, then how could you not be at 1,000? This day has never existed.
There's always
no,
a 1%
no, there isn't
more.
always. No, there isn't. That's your interpretation. You just told the universe, don't ever give me the best.
No, I am extremely happy.
No, but you're 999. You're not at 1,000. You're never gonna have the thing you want till you're at 1,000. That's the
okay. Well, I'm at 1,000 then.
Yeah, but you see, you weren't there. You had your own opportunity. I hate it when he does this. It pisses me off. Just letting you know that 1% is what's keeping you from your joy.
Okay.
It's just, but this is how we reveal ourselves. I ask these questions because, well, I don't want to be better than everybody else because it's rare that I'm going to run into 1,000. Ask me what number I'm at. You know what number I'm at.
We know.
Yeah. So why can't you be there? Because if you show up there, it doesn't take away my 1,000. Doesn't take away any 1,000 from anybody else. This is the abundance thing. Well, there's not enough for everybody. If I'm this, then I'm better than everybody. The hell you are. Yes, you are 100% better than everyone else because nobody could be you. There's only one of you. I'm not better than anybody else. I'm getting better than me. Your only competition is you. And if you were 999 yesterday, you're no better than you were yesterday. Good luck on making things come true. Yeah, that's how fun it is. It's okay to be at 1,000. But I think there's going to be more. And then you'll be at 1,000 then. Imagine the scale was this big, 1 to 1,000. And because you had 1,000 today, you're like, oh my gosh, and your scale got bigger. Now you have more awareness, right? Tell me if I ask the question, how happy is happy? That you couldn't answer. You could only answer that in the past. Well, I probably will be happier. You probably will be, but here's what I know. If you ever got a bicycle or anything you really wanted, or a doll or anything that you really wanted when you were little, that's probably the happiest you ever were. And then maybe when you got a car, you were happy, different level of happy, different kind of happy. Your first romantic interlude. I know I was real happy with a kiss. And then when it went a little farther, I was happier. And then when it still went a little farther, I was happier. I'm like, this can't get any better. And I'll be darned if it didn't get better. Right?
Yeah.
So we can always be at 1,000. Doesn't mean this is as good as it's going to get. You just raise your level of 1,000. Gotcha. Don't be less than the best. Just let the best get better. And that's the frequency of law of attraction. Be the best. Today's the best day, whatever today's day is, that's ever going to exist. This will never exist again.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's going to be better. Yeah, it'll be your new 1,000. This is where the Irish blessing, may the best of your yesterdays be the worst of your tomorrows.
I've been thinking about that statement very often.
So now let me ask you, hey, listen, scale of 1 to 1,000, where are you?
1 freaking thousand.
Doesn't that feel better? Doesn't that feel different? Doesn't that even sound, well, wait a minute. You mean I'm as good as I'm going to get? Yeah. And then you can get better.
Yeah. What you claim is important.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the secret of all secrets. Don't ever be less than your best. because your best can always become better.
Love that.
You are this amazing holistic healer. Have you learned anything in the last 24, 48 hours about how to help somebody get healthier?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so didn't your best get better?
Yeah.
So you were at 1,000 yesterday. People should sign up with you because you were at 1,000. You know why they should sign up with you today? Because you're 1,000, a bigger 1,000. You guys show up here every day. My goal every day is to raise my 1,000. If you say, and some of you have said this, every call keeps getting better and better. It's because I make the decision long before I talk to y'all. My 1,000's going to be freaking off the hook today. And it's going to be better than yesterday. That's why I have all of these experiences, all of these conversations, all of these how to deal with objections of everything, because my 1,000 is getting better. I'm not asking you to be my 1,000. I'm asking you to be your 1,000. But the day I stop growing my 1,000, you will easily and effortlessly and simply blow by me. One of two reasons cause you to leave. You're tired of growing, or I stopped. That's it. Period.
Wow.
The only reason you don't show up here is you've either stopped growing or I stopped growing. That's it. I had to cut down. There's 3 more trees. There was 4 trees in the very back of the property. I have to cut down because they're dead. I'm not going to stand there and look at them and go, please go, please go, please grow. I want you to grow. Oh my God, grow. No, they are dead beyond dead beyond dead. There is no flow in them. So there's no reason for me to hang around them, because eventually a limb is going to fall and hurt somebody. So I got to cut them down before they hurt somebody. People who stop growing hurt people. How's that feel?
Very good.
Yeah.
To start this wonderful week.
There you go. I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, my love. All right, ladies and germs, there's your conversation for the morning on faith. We haven't made it out of faith yet. You know, if we were in a book club, we'd probably be on chapter 7 by now. This is what letting the book read you. That's what I hope I'm transmitting to you, is let the book begin to read you. Let your greatness and that higher version of you sink into the words and say, oh, Paul Harvey, rest of the story. That's why I was drawn to that. That's why I underlined that, highlighted that, circled that. I'm your head brain training. Let's have more Faith Misfit. I'll see y'all where?
The next
At the
event.
next event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with
With
us.
us.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of helping faith ooze from your system, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Boss
Lee.
Lee.
Lee, we love you, girl. And a little white fluffy.
Gurgly,
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 gurgly.
gurgly.
Lee, we love you, Fee. All right, everybody, go have some fun today. I'll see you all tomorrow morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Moving on to more faith. Till then, bye for now.
Peace,
Thank you,
family.
Sean. Love
Thanks,
you all.
everybody.
Have a great day.
Great day.
Thank you, Sean.
All.